And here we are. A little bit late? Never late. Why? Because time is an illusion. We're always right on time for exactly where we're supposed to be. Right? That's how it works. I'm so glad you guys are here with me. Thank you for coming. Please subscribe, like, and hit that bell notification so that you can find out whenever I go live, because I've been doing a lot of them lately. I have this dedication of every day at 11:11 Pacific time, no matter where I am, at least in the America area, because I want to keep it simple for you guys. Simple, simple. Simple soul. Keep it simple, soul. Someone once told me that before. Keep it simple, soul. That's a nice way to put it, right? Than the alternative. So today we have the frequency of 528 coming in. Do we? Yes? No? Yes. We have the frequency of 528 hertz. And 528 hertz is one of those beautiful love frequencies. This one in particular is about rebirth, miracles and blessings, harmony and protective light. And it actually has a picture of the pyramids here, and that which the pyramids represent, these strong energy points around the earth. And here's something really interesting. As I was traveling through the different lands to come to Colorado, as I was in Colorado, I felt this before. I felt like when I was passing through certain mountains that there were pyramids there. And this time, just outside the Grand Junction area, I looked at this whole range. And actually, I was feeling into dragons. Like, where are the dragons? Where can I feel or see the shape of dragons in those mountains? And all of a sudden, I'm like, whoa, holy crap, that's a pyramid. That's a huge pyramid. And then there was a smaller pyramid right down below. Like, I could see where it was, and there were multiples. And on the way here, I think still in California, maybe, no, actually Nevada area, there's something called Pyramid Lake. And I stopped there once before when the weather was great. I figured I would just check it out. And I looked up some info on it, because I looked at it and I get a sense, I'm like, there's a pyramid there. And so I go and I have a little chat with the gate lady, and she's like, no, it's called Pyramid Lake, but there is no pyramid. And I was like, but I kind of feel like there is. I said, I did a little research. And she's like, yeah, people always think there's a pyramid there. There is a pyramid there, guys. There's also a pyramid, I believe, below, oh, what's that lake? No, not Lake Havasu, although there might be. There's a lake that everyone puts their boathouses on. I think it's in Utah. Anyway, there's a pyramid below that lake. There's pyramids everywhere. It's not just Egypt, guys. There are smaller ones, there are bigger ones. I mean, we know of them in like South America as well. It's funny that the pyramids are coming up, but yet not. It's appropriate. Hey Jay, how's it going? Aw, thank you. I wasn't feeling very beautiful today, so thank you. We're talking about the pyramids. So, yeah, if you've never been to Egypt, you have the opportunity to connect with pyramids on a regular basis. Some of the meditations I've taken you through, you can, as you expand your energy out, you can actually connect to those points on the earth where the pyramids are. Aw, you're really sweet, Jay. Thank you for the compliment. So, last year, December, I was in Egypt, 1212 portal, and we were traveling from Giza, yes, Cairo to Giza to Aswan and Luxor, and then kind of back up again. And I gotta tell you, it was amazing to be in the pyramids. When I first went into the pyramids, can we do a Dr. Joe Dispenza meditation, please? That would be Dr. Joe Dispenza's meditation, though. It wouldn't be mine. Not that we can't do something like that. That's a good question. Do I want to take you through one of his meditations? Let me feel into that a little bit. Let me see if there's something that goes along with kind of what we're talking about. I might actually be doing retreats kind of like that, by the way. So people who aren't used to going on retreats or don't know what to do with the information after the retreat or during the retreat, I may actually be having a retreat where I book something for a small group of people. You know, all the pricing is put together, and then we go and we listen and we experience, like Dr. Joe Dispenza, Greg Braden, all these different ones. We go to the actual conference for like the 3 days or 5 days or whatever it is, and then we have time after that time to talk about the information and how people are going to apply it in their life. That's something that I've been thinking might work out pretty well. I'll think about the Joe Dispenza. So the pyramids, yeah. The pyramids are coming in. They came in, the Egyptian energy came in when I was in Glastonbury. Egyptian energy was being brought in. You know, the Essenes, Yeshua, Jesus, and his clan of merry men and women, they all had traveled back and forth to Egypt for certain reasons. So this is kind of neat that we're breaking into this, because close is Christmas, and we're talking about Christed energy, right? It's not just for Jesus. A Christed energy is like, Jesus was like the Buddha of many Buddhas, and then there was the actual Buddha, and there were all these different ones coming in, right? So we're just being told that we're really supported right now. I was reading this book this morning, The Sophia Code, and I don't generally reread books, but I was drawn to reread the Isis initiation. And this is funny because what I noticed in the very beginning, it's talking about religion, and it's talking about how religion has made people feel unworthy in a way that they can't connect personally to God, source, the universe, right? Yeah, Sophia Code. It was, and I didn't notice this before when I read it the first time, guys. It was amazing the different things it was taking us through. Let's see, I have it right here. There's a lot of things that come through religion, and being a JW at one point when I was younger, and then growing up through the religion, which by the way was an extremely good base. My parents were very healthy within the religion, so there wasn't any strangeness that most people talk about. For me personally, it's backwards on the camera. I know, Jay, I'm totally trying to figure that out. I watched a YouTube on it, and it said look for these 3 buttons before you go live, and the 3 buttons were not there. That video was 7 years old. Jay, if you're my friend, you can totally figure this out for me, make a little video, and then post the link in the comments of this video so that I can flip my stuff around, because I'm finding stuff from 7 years ago, not right now, as to why my camera's reversed. You had lots of not good stuff for JW stuff? Yeah, Pac-Man, I know. There's been a few people with not so great stuff, for sure. Stuff that I wasn't privy to while I was there. By the way, I ran into some beautiful Mormons this morning on my way to speak with you guys. And it was funny because they're like, do you have any time? Do you want to talk about Jesus? I'm like, yeah, man, my man Jesus, Yeshua, awesome guy. And he's like, do you have time? Can we come back? And I was like, no, I gotta go. I'm also talking about some spiritual stuff. It's my time to go talk about some spiritual stuff, and they wanted to get my number. There was all this stuff. In the end, they got my number because they were talking about haircuts. I was like, oh, I offer conscious cuts. So that's part of what we talked about. Well, can we set up a time? And I was like, you are talking to an old JW and I know what you're doing. I was like, but I don't mind it because I like talking with you guys. I like to know, actually from a very young age, I really enjoyed finding out what other people's beliefs were, because I went door to door, supposedly talking about the Bible, and we were, and connecting with Jesus and God, right? Which we were. However, there was always this underlining, not for me, but from others, I could tell, get them over to our side. And there are no sides, guys. I have known that there's not been any sides when it comes to connecting with the source of all that there is, whatever you want to call that, God consciousness, God particle, the creator. There's no in-between really needed, right? A lot of us are figuring this out, that we don't need an in-between. Now, I'll tell you what those religions do that is really great. They have people constantly connecting with the all that there is, the creator itself of all. And they're doing that by having church every Sunday. You know, JWs did it Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. Yeah, everybody has so many different interpretations. I agree. So really, there's no separation. I knew this at a young age. I knew this as I was going into college, and then I got a chance because someone asked me recently, well, today, they're like, have you ever been to one of our churches? And I was like, actually, I've been to a lot, but no, I have not been to one of yours. And that's where the haircut thing came up. I was like, but, however, I've been to other people's churches, and then I've offered them haircuts after the session, the sermon, the meeting, right? I've done that before. And they were like, and I was like, I could totally do that. It might be a little different than what you're used to, my silent haircuts and my oracle cards, but who knows? So we're getting a little off track. I was talking about the pyramids and how I was there last year, December. And it was an important year. We got 2024. It was 12/12 and then 12/12 portal in Egypt. And there's so many pyramids on this earth that we can connect to. So what I've shown you guys a couple times is where we like kind of expand our energies to our space that we're in, to the area that we live in. All across the earth, you can actually connect with the pyramids and the temples. Jay, what are they? They are energy points. It is thought, and they are, the ability, because of like how they are aligned with the different planets, there's this planetary alignment that happens, and the pyramids are directly on cue. As for like the circumference of the earth and like where all the measurements are, these are not done by accidents. Most likely this is galactic kind of technology. Pyramids are technology. There's a lot of technology out there that crystals are crystal technology. Everything created has consciousness. That's what pyramids are. They're like, you know, the pyramids. Sometimes three-sided, sometimes four-sided pyramids. And what was coming through this morning or last evening was, it was a purification of, so it's funny that I ran into Mormons, these beautiful guys, who I may end up talking with again, but through the Sophia Code, they talk of some of the things that can come up through the actual place of religion, where people feel unworthy to connect directly to the divine that there is. And when they fail to connect with the divine that there is, they fail to connect with the divine that is within them as well. So, yeah, like one of them is summoning shame. that was created to live in a fallen state of sin. So that word sin has been used for so long. I don't know if they use that in the Mormon religion, but yeah, that's big, making people feel like they're less than. The original story of Adam and Eve, feel like we were less than. That is there are a lot of, what do they call them? Parables utilized in the Bible, especially through Yeshua's work when he was out there speaking with others, that weren't meant to be exact. they were a symbol for what was occurring at the time. So it's interesting when you do research what the actual parable of Adam and Eve kind of signified. Adam and Eve were actually not just singular people, if that makes sense. And you'd have to do your own research on that. But you can look into like the race of Eve, the race of Adam, because it didn't have to do with just two people. There was more than that happening. Okay, I gotta center in a little, guys. What am I talking about here? You know, I'm not ashamed to say that sometimes there are days where my focus is in a different place. Let's take a breath together, shall we? Hand on the heart, maybe one on the belly. Get it down in there. I want you to first feel your belly. Like, breathe it in and let it just hang out there. And breathe out. Let's breathe in. And breathe out. All right, so I'm getting the sense. Keep breathing. As I tap into the God particle within me, that highest aspect, what is the message that needs to come through? Why are we speaking of religion, the oppression? What's coming through? You are correct that there is no separation. How and when you decide to serve as that which is of the Creator is entirely up to you. For this is your earthly experience. You have an intuition, and you are able to discern when you hear information of how people choose to connect with the divine, whether that is for you. That goes for this one here, speaking in front of you. That goes for attending a sermon. This one would often sit in the meetings and wonder why there weren't more smiles. Wonder why not the full scripture was read. And then, as a child, asking the adults, why? Why was not the whole scripture read? It was told to her that it didn't matter because that was not the point. The point was the talk. I'm laughing because this is so true. Yes. In her mind, the point were the words on the page. Those who had written the scriptures, that was to be the point. Now it's all about perspective. The point, really, is how do you feel when you attend those type of get-togethers, we'll call them. Is it monotonous? Do you do it out of what would the word be? Obligation? Do you enjoy when you're there to be amongst other people's also tapping in to the Creator, tapping into their God self? As we are all one, many of what has been in regards to religion will soon come to pass in a different way. Those that want to breed separation will have a very hard time in these new energies of holding on to that separation. For that would be part of what would be called the false matrix. We are here to love one another. And love comes in many different varieties here on this planet for you. So it is not for one person or group to say, this is correct and this is not correct. All is appropriate for your journey. We simply ask that you connect. Connect with your heart, connect with your body, connect with the earth and all of her energies. The elemental kingdom. Remember when you were a child and you dreamed of dragons and unicorns and elves. The movies that are provided out there are there for a reason, to spark that imagination and that remembrance of a time where there were other creatures here. We simply ask that you connect. Connect to your heart. In this time of the holidays, connecting to Christed energy is highly recommended. For Christed energy is not just linked to Yeshua. It is the crystalline energy that moves in, through, and around the earth, and also within your own bodies. A crystalline, Christed technology. And this is being upgraded at this time. Some of you will feel this in what feels uncomfortable. Know that it is okay. Some of you will feel this and it will feel amazing, like you're on top of the world. Know that this is okay. We are here to support you. Simply connect. Ask. Ask for assistance. And then have the intention to see miracles that day. Because miracles you will see. There will be connections that occur. There will be new conversations that occur. Try taking a different way than you would normally on your regular day. How do you get to work? How do you get to the store? Try taking a different way. See who you meet, who you speak with. There are connections to be made. This one has a connection with Egypt. And she brings those connections here now to you. She brings those crystalline Christed codes through her, this form, her voice, as she speaks to you. Things are going to change and maybe get a little shaked up. But know you are doing splendidly. We love you. Okay, so I guess that's why all that was coming up. It is the time of the holidays, right? It's when people who stop going to church start going to church, or they go for that particular time. It's when people step into that Christed energy even more. Thank you very much. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, when these meditations come up, when these messages, it's possible I should allow them through more often. Like, just be like, not have myself talk so much, but have that energy come in to speak a little bit more often. Okay, we've got a few things coming up for people. Lacking in self-discipline. Okay, does that mean you procrastinate? Is that what that means? Or that you start a project and then you don't finish a project? Is that what you're saying? A deeper level of self-discipline. So that really comes with practice. Okay. So as one that did that for most of my life, I would find it could be kind of difficult. I mean, even now when I create, I want to be in a certain vibration, right? I want to be like, all right, when I'm working with this metal stuff, I want to be in this place of creativity and feeling on top of the world, right? And it does help to have us in a higher vibratory state. Like, how do we get excited? Back paperwork to fill out. All right. Because I'm not a paperwork kind of person. The best I can tell you is that you know yourself very well. You know what's going to get you going and work on something, and when it's not. And some of the time that our body will be like, I don't feel like it right now. I felt that in the past, even for my appointments. And what I just decided to do was get myself ready. Like, start getting myself ready, get things in place if it's a project I'm working on, get everything out. If it's music I need, get the music out. I try and refrain from listening to TV shows anymore. That turned out to be not a great habit for me. It was like definitely an addiction, so I had to take Netflix off my phone. Yeah, you're right. Your mind says this and your body says that. So sometimes we have to get past that point. You get to that point of where you're just like, I don't wanna. To get yourself going, and then decide, once you got it all laid out and you're ready to do it, keep feeling like, just say, okay, I'm getting my stuff ready, I'm getting ready to go. Feel into it as you're doing it, like, what am I feeling like as I'm getting this stuff ready? And then you'll find a lot of the time that you've passed that point. You've passed that point of procrastination, because then you kind of start getting excited about what you're going to work on a little bit, because you're bringing in the material. So your brain doesn't really know what to do because your brain initially was saying, I don't wanna. And your body was saying, I don't want to. I want to take a nap. I want to do this. And sometimes a nap is warranted. But that's what you have to feel into. You take yourself past those breaking points where you choose other. It's like even like that with food. I have the choice of this food or I have the choice of that food. I want something sweet. I used to talk to family members about this. I would ask cousins, I'm like, do you want something salty or do you want something sweet? Because they would say they weren't hungry just because they didn't want to eat the food that was there. The be clear too. The message was saying, I'm lacking in procrastination. I'm doing my morning ritual meditation consistently. That's great. Morning ritual, consistent meditation. Yeah, it's not easy. I agree. It's not easy to do. I'm not by myself here in this place. I'm with family, so it's a really different dynamic than me waking up on my own by myself and just going through my things of, making my hot water and other things in the day. Meditation and materials that I look at. But I know that next week I'll be more into my regular routine of keeping in touch with me, bringing new information for you guys. Don't give yourself a hard time though. I want you to be the observer. Simply observe. It could even be happening as you're doing it, right? Like, oh, I'm totally putting this off. My thing is cleaning. I will start cleaning stuff and put off doing this list of things that I need to address or take care of. And it depends on what it is, right? But we all have our things. Yeah, you don't need to be super hard on yourself. That's the thing about religion, right? Religion, if we were in one, teaches us like whoopsh. School teaches us like whoopsh. I woke up this morning thinking about my first experience being late to class. I was 11. Direct social studies, geography. He had a system and I couldn't get the bell system. I thought I had it and then I didn't, and then I was late class. I got there and everybody was already seated and the teacher's like, all right, you have to stay after school. And I was like, oh, I was so afraid. So here is a punishment, right? Like, I did my best to get to class. I was intentionally trying to be on time with the bells, and yet I got punished. And I didn't go and stay after class. Why? Because I was 11 and I was like, I can't get home if I don't take the bus and I have no transportation. Oh, look. restart. Oh, look. Look, did it restart? Is it happening? I've restarted. I didn't even have to do it. You said restart and it happened. Frozen is back. Okay, so I'm continuing right now. What happened was I was afraid. In this instance, I got punished for trying to be on time. I was legit being on time. But it was a misunderstanding. It doesn't matter that it was a misunderstanding because they have this blanket, this is what the rule is. If you don't follow the rule, this is what happens. And so this is why I'm saying not to give yourself a hard time. There are days that I write on my hand different things that are to get done. And on those things, usually what gets done does get done, anything that I write down on my hand. And in addition, I have a list on paper. So I will write the list on piece of paper, and then I will add to it the next day. What didn't I get done? I'll put on my hand. Someone gave me a hard time about this recently. They're like, how old are you? What are you writing on your hand for? And they're like, there's Post-it notes. I'm like, well, Post-it notes can get lost, but my hand, it's always here. And as I'm driving, this is where I see my list. Oh, the message is lagging, it's not coming through. It's so high the YouTube can't even keep up. Oh, well, I'm sorry that the YouTube's doing these weird things today. So basically what came through, excuse me, is that we're being asked to connect with these points. So maybe you want to connect, like look at some pictures of Egypt, look at the Sphinx. There's a lot of technology there. I will, at the bottom of this video, I will possibly put in a meditation. Yes, I will. Okay. I will put in a meditation that connects you to Egypt, to the pyramids, through Isis. Isis and Osiris, they're divine masculine and feminine. What we're listening to right now is 520 hertz. Okay, it's okay. The pyramids, let's go. Jay's ready to go. Let's go to the pyramids. Is that going to be where my retreat is? I'm going to take people to the pyramids. We're going to go see the Great Pyramid. I got to be in there at night, toning at night. It was pretty miraculous. And then to actually sit in the sarcophagus? The thing that holds the sarcophagus. It's not actually a tomb, but I got to lay in it. It's pretty awesome. You got the passport? I need an updated passport. Yeah, ready to go, right? I'm gonna, if I get that calling to go to Egypt, I'm gonna let you guys know, and we will set that up. There's so many people that take people to Egypt at this time, and they're so much more knowledgeable than me, you guys. They've got more experience. Can we go to Bora Bora? Never been there. Wow. Bora Bora and Maldives. Maldives. Where have I heard of that? Mexico? Is Maldives in Mexico? I don't even know where Bora Bora is. I've just heard the word, and I remember it from a movie. Bora Bora sounds very sexy. Middle East. Okay, Middle East. Thank you. Yeah, as you can see, I was late to my geography class, so. It takes me a while. I love maps, but it's been a while since I've looked at it all. Yeah, blue waters. Really beautiful. So much energy in those blue waters. The whales, the dolphins, all the sea creatures. It's all galactic. Alright, so I'm going to sign off with you guys, and we will talk more tomorrow. I feel like I was all over the place today. I'm glad I got centered and that there was something that come through for you guys. Jay, what do you want to talk about? We're at 40 minutes right now, technically, on my recording. What's the subject you want to talk about? We need more meditations. Yeah, meditations are great. One more meditation. Okay, do you have a question that you're wondering about, Jay? If there's a question in your life you're kind of wondering about, or something that appears to work a certain way out in the world, but you feel that it should be different, do you have a question? Okay, what's your question? This is some of what I do with people when I have one-on-one sessions with them in my studio. Okay, we're gonna wait for Jay to come up with his question. So what I've learned about all these different ways of connecting, the oneness that there is, it brings up things like in religion about, with the JW, it was, oh, the worshiping of other gods is what was thought to be at that time. But it wasn't necessarily the worshiping of other gods. If you dive deep into the history, galactic history, that's a big one, you're going to realize that the Egyptians had more help than just what they had at the time. That there were races before that, before the Egyptians were known as the Egyptians. Okay, so why do I not commit to work? The work that I know will change my life. I know it will change my life, yet I still use distractions to avoid doing the work. Okay. Let me feel into that question for a second. Because I have experience with that. So a personal experience I'll share is there was something that came up about your empowerment, about my empowerment. At the time that I was asking that same question, I couldn't believe the answer. And I'm going to tell it to you, and you tell me what it feels like. You are afraid of your power. What happens when I say that? Yeah. Okay, so it's true. Yeah, I was dumbfounded when I heard that. I was like, what do you mean? I'm always saying how empowered I am. How I get to make all these different choices, right? Yeah, there's something that makes us afraid of our power. So, afraid of the light. Yeah, there is I don't want to take on that responsibility. Why that comes up is because of the fear of failure. How does that sound when I say that to you? We were raised as children to do things often a certain way, and if we didn't do it a certain way, we were punished. If we didn't show up a certain way that somebody wanted us to, there was like a repercussion. Fear of failure is very there. Yeah. Okay. How can we release, let me ask that question. How can we release fear of failure? Take a deep breath. And breathe out. Take a deep breath. And breathe out. I'm being told that there's never any failure. It's often what we've been told time and time again, try again. The failure is in not trying. The failure is in not choosing when you have a choice. That is where the failure is. It's not the what's that word? Non-completion of the task at hand. I'm kind of being shown, it's like a sensing that we've been put down so much. Pressed down, compressed. And then often it sent us into a depression from this compression. Take a deep breath and release. Okay, I'm going to try something here. Where are we feeling this? Whoops, sorry. I haven't done this. I really haven't done this before in front of people. I've just been starting to practice with it. Is this fear, God, self, other? Okay. Self and other. So oftentimes we inflict self, we inflict on ourselves obligations or expectations that might be unrealistic. And this is also from other, which is those around us, those in our life, telling us that we're not good enough, basically. So we can at this time alchemize these energies of procrastination and fear, be empowered to show our strength, to show our knowing. We have been told time and time again that we are incorrect. Oh my God, by so much, by our parents, by religion, by schools. Sometimes the closest people in our lives will tell something and they're like, no, and yet it's true. It's just that they don't believe it. Because often people lie to themselves, not just to others. Okay, so we're clearing some of that. Take a deep breath. Hold and release. We're cleansing these energies of procrastination on a quantum level. The fear of not being good enough, of failure. The emotions that come up of sadness and